Hey, what's up? Hey, are we ready to go? Okay, yeah, we're happening. We're live. Okay, see, so as big as a YouTuber as anybody else. Like I don't even watch. Like I just found out I got a HBO Max, so so I was able to watch whatever the Pee Wee Herman thing. But so you look at things, people talking. Nancy Grace. So and so, these lawyers and these political guys. They talking about P. Diddy and stuff and Weinstein, Bill Cosby. I mean, the one thing that nobody's talking about is that, you know, P. Diddy is not really a good looking guy. I until he had some success, I really doubt that he got laid just by his looks only. I mean, I'm gonna lay down the line. Okay, like people like ask me questions. I'll do a rebuttal video. Okay, but for if you're a male, I don't know how. It might be different now. With all this Tinder. I mean, it just seems like people who somehow are using the internet to find people. I mean, it seems like real creepy to do that. I mean, you know, like I grew up in the '70s. You know, luckily, there was like all you had was like Playboy and Penthouse magazine, so you checked it out. Okay, well, okay, so you figure out, oh yeah, this is good. I like this. This is what I'm into. This is a turn on. So you're a guy, you like women, or maybe you like the gay porn or something. But you pretty much figure. I mean, every person I went to junior high with, and they said they turned out to be gay or something. I, I mean, I wasn't surprised, like Tony Rada and Mike Francis, later, and some of these guys, Steve Fitzpatrick, they learned. I knew they were gay back when I was like 10 or something, But but okay, so when I was younger, like let me just tell you how I got to where I'm at now. So, uh, when I was younger, I would look at Playboy, Penthouse, read some of the articles. When I was like 10 or 11, when I'm reading this stuff, I was reading like National Lampoon, and there was a lot of articles, sexualized about sexual reawakening and stuff. And I mean, that was in the culture and stuff. And like, um, and then like my stepsister had a book, Our Body is Ourselves. So I got all this book and I read the whole thing and memorized it. Like I knew all about female sexuality before I was like even in high school and stuff. I was like, I was, but it was all in my head. It was like knowledge. There was no practical stuff. And then I later in college, I did take a human sexuality class and stuff. And I'll go over like a thing that the guy, this guy, the teacher too was sort of like kind of like an out of shape kind of guy. He was going to sexual conferences all over, but he knew what he knew what he was talking about because it was real true. So, getting back to Weinstein, P. Diddy, and these guys, I mean, they're not good looking guys. I mean, when I was younger in my 20s, like when I was like going, yeah, that's the girl I want to go out with. Sometimes it worked, sometimes I, got her some flowers or something, or did something right. But most of the time, there was a lot of failures. Let's say, just said the wrong thing, just totally blew it. But what was easier, so when I was like 15, 16, 17, and I had two older brothers that didn't know they didn't know what was going on either. But luckily I was the youngest, so I could learn from their mistakes. So, plus I had all this other knowledge. So I took in high school, like even in high school, I took, everyone you take a health class or sexuality class. So I was like, I knew I knew the whole female male anatomy, all the names, the vas deferens, the fallopian tubes, the womb, the uterus. I knew what everything was. I can uh, all um, all that stuff, and I was real knowledgeable, and so, but that helped. But what? And then I was gonna say when I was younger, you know, how I lost my virginity and how I had girlfriends. It was because the girl. It wasn't because I got the girl. The girl got me. Like they thought I was like hot stuff and stuff. But you know, when you're younger, I mean, looking back, I mean, at that time, I wanted, I was a budding writer. I wanted to be taken seriously or something, like all that stuff. But people were just you were just kind of like good looking guy, I mean, all that stuff, all that, that I didn't have the gravitas of, oh, okay, of, is it still going? Of, like what I wanted to do. I wanted to be taken serious as a poet or a writer or a novelist, but I was like I was aiming high, but people at the time when I was like 22, it's like people just saw me as young, good-looking guy, and all the other stuff was like just not important and stuff. So going back to Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Bill Cosby and others, I mean, these guys, there's no way they're going to get laid on their looks. So they come up with some sort of plan, give them, you know, give them a roofie, and I mean, I've watched like 100 Nancy Grace videos, and the thing no one talks about, I mean, nobody has 1,000 bottles of baby oil or Astroglide around unless they're gay, or they're just, or they're having sex with people that aren't really that into it. When a girl's into you, is she's wet. She gets her vagina becomes wet. That's, you can kind of tell if it's dry, she's probably not that into you. If you have to rely on Astroglide and you're having sex with them multiple times, it's probably, the relationship's not going to last too long, because it's like, obviously she's probably having misgivings. If you're making out and taking off your clothes, and there's like lubrication, natural lubrication, it's probably gonna be a long happening relationship. It's a fun sexual encounter. You want to do it again and stuff, but if you're going out with a person and you're having like second thoughts, it's okay, you're reaching for the Astroglide or the baby oil or whatever the fuck, sorry, language there. You're probably not attracted to each other. You should probably find a new partner that turns you on, because I can't, what, I can't, there's no way I could have ever, I don't think I've ever had sex with somebody who, there was a mutual attraction. It doesn't happen. I couldn't, like, but okay, so let me get part two. Okay, so the interesting thing here, I'll take this. Here's the little doll here. Okay, so let's just say that this guy, I forgot his name, Irwin or whatever. He falls out of a plane. Oh, he forgot his parachute. Okay, so when this guy, when he's falling, he's gonna have a few physical conditions. His mouth's gonna get kind of dry. There's gonna be perspiration under the arms, and he's gonna perspire the head too. There's gonna be perspiration in the body. He's gonna sweat a little bit, and the heart's gonna be beating a little faster and stuff. So because he jumps out of an airplane, and he's like all worried. He's like, oh, how am I gonna get out of this? It's impending doom. Do I have how am I gonna survive this? The same thing with in a sexual situation. When you're aroused, there's gonna be some sweat. There's gonna be some dry mouth, maybe. The heart's gonna beat a little bit better. So why I mean, the question is, why when you're aroused can you have like an erection, whereas when you jump out of an airplane with no parachute and you're having like similar body conditions, erections like the last thing you're thinking about. So but there's other people. I mean, people that or rape, commit rape, or stuff that doing things. I mean, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Like why people, some people think I'm a sexual shaman, whatever you say. It's because like you have to, your mind and your body have to be like have to be somehow, you have to be kind of connected some way. That's a lot of people's problem with sexuality these days. Their mind, their body's not connected. I mean, I front loaded a lot of information, and I knew a lot about sexuality when I was really young, but there was no practical world experience. I had to like, so when I was a teenager, some of the sexual situations weren't that good, and then I had to learn and practice and stuff. And so they had them now more. I mean, there has to be a mind body connection, like and you should be able to. But it's weird that um, arousal, and there's like fear or panic is whatever. I mean, so that's why some people are kind of messed up, because they're panicking, or they maybe So what I'm saying is, like the human body is very strange. We all need to like I mean, that's a big problem in society. That's why people like are into spiritual ideas and things, because because there's some sort of lack of mind body connection. They want to be connected to something higher than just really sexuality is just kind of plumbing. It's just sort of in one way it looks really silly, and you want it, you want it to be connected. You want it, every experience to be special. You want it to be connected to something, whether it's a higher divine power, or at the level of the human connection, with another person, like and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, like good luck to P. Diddy in his trial. I mean, just get it together. We know you're a sexual freak, but that is eventually a dead end. It's kind of like when it's like these porn videos where I don't know, that's a whole other story, but porn can just be more and more extreme. It's you should just be, if you're interested in sex, you should just be doing something you're comfortable with, like just like what that's your thing, that's what you do, and it's nothing more. It doesn't have to. Some people would say you have to alter the stimulus or something somehow, or I mean, or some people, when people, deep in a certain relationship, start reaching for the Astroglide, maybe they're reaching for the marijuana or something, and that's kind of altering the stimulus a bit. I don't know, maybe that works, but that's another band-aid, I think. So because you want to be sober and you want to be in the moment and stuff. So Yeah, I should have been. I should have worked in. I should have been a sexual surrogate or a porn star or something because I'm so connected. Compared to the rest of the world here. Okay, so that's enough of me going off. I might delete this video, but you know, like people should get connected and don't worry. Like and some people, are never connected, and some people, just have their hang ups and stuff, and they're stuck in that mentality for a while. That's okay too.